want to know from you before we get on like what we should be doing. What are the things that like you can call out like right out of the gates that you've seen that us as B2B marketers should not do from on the pull from the B2C side, because you know that if we do these things, they are going to fail?
Yeah, the critical thing here is not getting too overly concerned with how your brand is going to be presented, because you need to trust your influencer far more. You cannot package a campaign, deliver it to a bunch of influencers the same way. And why is this? Because it comes back to the fundamentals of how the business operates. So when we look at B2C marketing, and I'll use this as the comparison, what can you do? I can go on a number of different marketplaces right now. I can get a whole list of influencers in various different areas, fashion, travel, lifestyle, etc. I will get breakdowns of their metrics, and I can literally hand them a campaign and set up the terms, set up the contract, set up the payment. All of that's facilitated through a middleman. That's it. B2B does not have that. And for good reason, because you're going to be dealing with niche complexity, right? When you're dealing with finding the right influencer, there isn't an aggregate of all B2B influencers. You're going to have to tailor that one-to-one. And that level of approach means that you have ceded a whole bunch of control to the influencer. And it makes sense, because what has this also intersected with? It's intersected with the phenomenon of the dark funnel or dark social. I know there are various different terms for it, but suffice to say, everything that attribution platforms don't really measure right now. And what are these? These are social chats, these are DMs, these are communities, these are Slack groups. These are all these areas that we know as marketers that B2B buyers are spending a lot of time in. They're spending their time there. They're speaking with peers. They're learning from them. Now, all of that is a phenomenon of influence. And you can, if you tap the right leaders of these communities, the right people who aggregate the right types of buyer personas that you want to tackle, you can definitely set up campaigns with them. But they're going to be very scrupulous. They're going to be very concerned that they do not cannibalize their existing relationship with their audience. Particularly, I might add, that when you look specifically with communities, which I'm definitely recommending as one of the first places that you as a B2B marketer want to look at if you want to start an influencer campaign, the key with B2B communities is they're often quite expensive. And that expense is often coming from either the individual because they want to increase their professional development, or it's coming from the companies they represent. If they are not getting enough value because their communities have been saturated with sellers, then suddenly they're going to up and leave. And suddenly that community is no longer valuable. This is why you have to be careful. Now, this is a hard concept for a lot of people because they understand, like, yes, I hear you, I need to cede control, but brands don't like doing that. Brands love telling exactly the narrative they have in their mind, and they just want to distribute that message. But newsflash, this is not early social. That was the same mistake that brands made there. They thought they could just broadcast a message and that message would be received. We're not in that era anymore. And so you need to, rather than try and force the creative to fit the influencer, think about who are you trying to reach and how can you authentically create a campaign together with the influencer that meets their goals as well as helps you achieve your brand purpose.